This is breaking news from Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
I'm here today to provide a briefing on a sexual assault investigation that we're currently conducting in the Northeast Area Command at the 4200 block of East Tonopah, which is located in the area of Lamb and Lake Mead. Earlier this morning, at approximately 6:20 in the morning, Northeast patrol officers responded to the area of the 4200 block of Tonopah, referenced a 14-year-old juvenile who was walking to school and was sexually assaulted. Based on the details of the crime, sex crimes detectives responded to the investigation and took over the investigation. And during that investigation, after an extensive interview with the victim, we learned that the victim was walking on Tonopah where he was approached by a black male, later identified as Willie Collins, as you see to my left. Mr. Collins approached the male, our victim, and he simulated that he had a firearm and said that he would kill the victim if he did not comply with his request. He then directed the victim to a back alley located on the north side of Tonopah. Once in the back alley, he directed the victim into a dumpster enclosure where he proceeded to sexually assault our victim. During the sexual assault, our victim and the male suspect, Mr. Collins, were involved in a fight during which our victim thankfully was able to flee the area to a nearby witness. The suspect then fled the area westbound on Tonopah. Based on the severity of the crime that we are investigating, the LVMPD immediately initiated the major case protocol on this case. And during that major case protocol, we used every last resource on this investigation to begin our investigation and begin identifying who our suspect was. During our canvass of the scene, we located numerous videos of our suspect without his pants on, and during that video review, we noticed that the male suspect, Mr. Collins, had an ankle monitor on his leg. That ankle monitor is consistent with the ankle monitor worn by someone who's on house arrest out of Clark County Detention Center. We immediately, utilizing our house arrest at Clark County Detention Center, were able to determine that Mr. Collins' ankle bracelet was in the area of the sexual assault at the time of the sexual assault. Through additional investigative means, thankfully, we were able to identify Mr. Collins definitively as our suspect in the sexual assault. Approximately 6 hours after the sexual assault occurred, at 12:30 p.m., we were able to take Mr. Collins into custody at his residence, which is located approximately a quarter mile away from the scene of the crime. Mr. Collins is currently in custody, and when he is booked into CCDC, he will be booked on battery with intent to commit sexual assault, kidnapping, sexually motivated, and 2 counts of sexual assault with a victim under 16. Right now, we're in the process of still continuing and furthering our investigation by conducting numerous search warrants and interviews related to this investigation. And with that, I'll take any additional questions you may have.
Why was he on house arrest, or what charges was he facing?
He currently was on house arrest out of North Las Vegas for a robbery with deadly weapon charge.
Did the victim sustain any significant injuries in the fight?
In this case, I would say the victim sustained quite a bit of injuries in regards to not only physical, but obviously emotional injuries that come from a traumatic experience like this.
Can you explain the major protocol and just sort of some more details about somebody who may be unfamiliar with how that works?
So a major case protocol is something that our department came up with to organize our investigative resources and patrol resources and community service groups throughout the valley towards an investigative goal, and to make sure that everybody's going in the same direction and we're not duplicating efforts, but that we are all working towards successfully the completion of the investigation and obviously identifying those who committed the crime.
Does he have any prior charges or history with sexual assault?
He is a registered sex offender for open and gross lewdness.
And can you say, maybe not what school the student was walking to, but how close they were to a school when this happened?
I'm not going to say what school it is, but it is a school in the area of where it occurred.
But do you know approximately how close?
I do not.
Is there possible any other victim by him?
Say again?
Is there any other victim by him?
The question is there any other victims? At this time, I'm not aware of any reports that would tie him to any other sexual assaults we're investigating at this point in time. However, as part of our natural investigation, we will be looking at that.
You said he indicated to the victim he had a gun to make him comply. Was that true?
That is correct, but he did not have a firearm, and we did not take him into custody with a firearm or a weapon.
The victim was a 14-year-old boy, yes?
The victim was a 14-year-old male. All right. And thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
You've been watching Breaking News from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.